Hi, friend.
Hello, it's me. Hi. You thought I was gonna keep going?
Yeah. I was like, oh, this is new. Well, friends, this is the Southside of Wakanda podcast, the best podcast in the multiverse. I am Vito's stepmama.
That's funny because I'm. You're not my
This
dad.
podcast is for
You know
casual
what's so
fans.
funny? I was gonna name myself uh Nick Fury's stepson or something like that.
Oh my god.
So that's funny that you said that.
Ooh, ooh, yeah, man. Anyway, this is a podcast for the casual fans of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. We discuss the Marvel live action TV shows and movies without the context of the comic books because you do not have to have read them in order to understand movies.
Period.
If you're like us, welcome. If you're not, but you don't gatekeep fiction, also welcome. Today we're going to be talking about Jessica Jones season 2, episodes 5 through 8. But before we get into that, we got a couple news stories to talk about. Not nearly as much as what happened last week. Thank God.
So this should be a nice, succinct episode.
Yes, it's probably not 2 hours, hopefully. Before I talk about news stories, I just want to announce to everybody that we now have a website, guys.
Yes.
Southsideofwakanda.com is where you can find us.
Yes.
Somehow I figured out how to do a website again, so I'm very proud of myself.
Y'all know Brittany just be figuring stuff out. She just be like, I want to do this, and then she just figures it out.
Pretty much. I almost quit. I quit like twice, but then I kept coming back until I figured it out. So
right.
Go see it. It has a little bit like a About Us page on there. You can see what we look like in case you've never watched an episode before. And then you can find our episodes and all our links to our YouTube and social media and all of that stuff.
Yeah, it's really cute.
So that's that. Now on to the BS. So, did you know that they were making a Venom 3? Did we know that?
I feel like we talked about it.
Maybe we did. I think I must have just like eliminated that from my brain because this morning I was like, oh, that's news to me, but apparently not. Anyway, they're filming it currently, and some set photos have released of Tom Hardy walking around in a Hawaiian shirt and shorts like he had on at the end of Venom 2 in that post-credit scene.
Interesting.
So, people are, I guess, excited about it. I don't know if anybody's excited about it. They're just being fucking nosy, honestly. And like, look what I saw.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
That sounds about right. Because after that last one, I was like, yeah, I'm kind of out on Venom.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm going to waste any of my own money to go see that movie.
I mean...
Actually, I didn't waste my own money to see it last time. I went on a date, so they wasted their money.
Yeah, I feel like we watched that one at home. I don't think we like went out to watch that. But, and we watched it very, very late, like after it came out. So, yeah, I haven't heard anybody say like, oh my God, Venom 3.
No one cares.
We just reporting the news.
Tom Hardy.
Sorry. Right. I hope it's good, but I just don't have high hopes. But either way, it's rumored to be releasing in October of next year, which maybe that'll happen since they're filming it now, but...
They gotta hurry up and finish it.
Yeah, they gotta hurry up and finish it. And then I'm sure they don't have any writers on set for the duration of their filming. I don't know like when they started, so...
Brittany, I don't think they had writers on set in the last movie. And if they did, shame on them writers.
Oh, you know what? You might be right. Or we probably won't even be able to tell the difference. So whatever. Yeah, we're going to find out whenever it hits the theaters.
I feel like if it did have writers on set, maybe it would be a vast improvement. I don't know. Or maybe it won't even be, like you said, maybe it won't even be noticeable. Who knows? The world literally may never know.
That's very true. So, I don't know. Also, Across the Spider-Verse, that sequel was supposed to come out March of next year, 2024, but it's being pushed back unfortunately. That one is going to be called Beyond the Spider-Verse, but a lot of people had like thought or assumed that they were doing these together, like making them at the same time, because I think at one point it was supposed to be all one movie, and then at some point it split into two.
How would
But
that happen? That sounds like a very, very long movie.
yeah, I don't know, but they were not working on it at the same time. They have not started working on that second movie at all.
Mm.
And they said they barely crossed the finish line with this movie, and it was just a very tumultuous like process. Like at least 100 people, like 100 animators who worked on this movie quit during the whole production of it. So based on that information, they like, yeah, probably not next year at all. Some people are like assuming that maybe 2026, since it took them 3 years to animate the sequel, Across the Spider-Verse.
Mm-hmm.
So honestly, 2026 sounds more reasonable, especially since they have not started it at all. And then there's an active writer strike. I don't even think they've written a script for it. So yeah, sorrows,
Right.
prayers. I don't know what to say about that. It's sad
I don't
though.
know. These rich people kind of ruining the poor's lives because it's
Yeah.
like, dang, can we not even have any entertainment? Does your greed know no bounds?
I swear. And like, don't all the conspiracy theorists say like the movies and like the music and stuff is supposed to keep us distracted
And
from.
docile from what's really
Yeah.
going on.
Yeah, maybe that's why they trying to get rid of TikTok, because we on TikTok not docile, very much
I
woke,
know. Yeah, exactly.
very much not entertained, because they won't give us any good content. So, boo, 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 boo. More boos. So with Secret Invasion's first episode last week, there was a little bit of controversy on two fronts. The first one is because of the introduction. Now, did you realize that that was generated by AI?
What?
The Secret Invasion, like the intro cards, like the little.
How would I know that?
I don't know. People were like, "Oh my god, AI!" And look at it, it's AI. And I'm like, "How the fuck did y'all know that?"
It
I
looks
didn't
like
know.
it looks like it was animated.
It looked. I guess like I never really. I don't think I really looked at it for real. The first episode, honestly,
Like
but
the whole like opening credits.
like the green
That looks
and the.
no different than it looks just like an artist drew it.
Well, apparently the internet found out somehow that it was AI generated, and everybody freaked out, because you know that that's one of the things that the writer strike and a lot of industries are afraid that AI is gonna fucking take over and take everybody's jobs.
Mm-hmm.
But the studio that animated that came out and said that the artist used AI alongside their own natural talents. So they said like, "Oh, nobody lost their job," and I'm just like, "Yeah, yet."
What's the difference between that and me using AI to like write an essay?
Mm. Yeah. It's cool when they do it. It's a problem when you do it.
No, I'm just saying it's just like if I used AI, or say somebody like at my job is like, okay, I want this type of design and whatever, and I go to Pinterest or something and I use something else to kind of inspire or help.
Mm-hmm.
If it's used to like help you along, or like for instance, like when I'm using like PowerPoint, it's like, oh, here's these design tips, like, and it just helps with the layout.
Yeah.
It's just like, that's just helped me save me some time.
Right.
Like if it's like that, if
Right.
it's like a helper, then it's like, okay. But if you like literally taking jobs away from people.
Yeah. And I think like the tricky thing about their statement to me is that they're like, oh, nobody lost their job while doing this. Like, our artists used AI to help them. But it's just like, from what I know from just using Chat GPT and my own silly little life things, it's a learning engine. Like, it tells you when you go on the site, like, the robot is learning from what you say and what you put into it, and like how you could tell it one thing and they'll generate like a paragraph. Like when I used it to create my Lady Whistle Down birthday party invitations, I fed it something, a prompt, and then it spit out its couple paragraphs. I read through it, and then I edited the prompt to change it so that it will re-spit it out in a different way. It's learning from that. So it's learning from y'all making it generate shit, and eventually it's gonna learn enough so that it don't need y'all. Hello. Like this, come on. I don't know. But I mean, hopefully it doesn't end that way. I'm very pessimistic about it. So people were pissed off. I don't understand
why we needed any of the AI stuff, because it's all kind of weird.
And that's the thing. Like, if your job is an artist and you have been hired to generate like an introduction for a TV show, why wouldn't you do that? Since that's your job and you gonna make the AI do it? Why do you need AI to help you do that? Because that's
work smarter, not harder.
I mean, I guess, but I wouldn't do it because I can see they're gonna cut me out. I'm the middleman at that point.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Well, at that point, literally, like, they make AI does like renderings and stuff like that for, you know, on certain sites if somebody wants like, you know, a certain interior design or whatever. Mm-hmm. So it's just like literally all of our jobs could be obsolete. You could say that about anything. They should have not been doing it in the first place with anything.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's like, it's not like y'all didn't write the movies about this shit. Like,
I'm with the boomers, and I'm with iRobot Will Smith on this one. Get that AI shit away from me.
Yeah, facts.
All right. So, and I wanted to mention that Across the Spider-Verse has so far made $560 million worldwide. So superhero movies are still doing a motherfucking thing, y'all.
Exactly.
That's a lot of money. I love this movie, and I love Shameik Moore and them. I'm so happy for them. That's dope. Okay, so my last little bit of news is, you know, Anthony Mackie was recently doing press for some other Peacock show he's doing. He was doing press for that. And they asked him about Jonathan Majors. And so now everybody's just like, oh, Avengers 5 actor addresses the Jonathan Majors. This is the first MCU. You know, they running with the shit. But he really didn't say anything.
I bet. I'm sure he didn't.
All he said was, that's one of the staples of this country. Nothing has been proven about this dude. Nothing. So everyone is innocent until proven guilty. That's all I can say. It's crazy where we are as a society. But as a country, everyone is innocent until proven guilty. Which...
He didn't say anything.
He didn't say anything.
That literally sounds like Kevin Feige sent out a Marvel-wide email. Mm-hmm. If anybody asks you, this is what you go with. Yep. Don't say anything else. And they only asked Anthony Mackie because he's black.
Right.
They probably thought that they would get some type of like a little bit more, because he's just so gregarious and he kind of just like says funny things and all of this stuff. They probably thought that they would get like a little bit more information, and he was just like, y'all not about, I'm Captain America, like, okay. Y'all not
to get between me and my bag. I respect it. So I mean,
he's true. What he said is true. It's just like everybody kind of decided whether or not dude was guilty, and it's just like, okay, well, like, we still have to find out what actually happened.
No facts have been released, I feel like, either way. I have not seen no pictures. I ain't seen no videos or nothing. Mm-hmm. And another, like, development happened, I guess, last week. They said that Jonathan Majors met with the NYPD to present to them the evidence of what happened on that night. And within hours of viewing the evidence and conducting their own investigation, the NYPD found probable cause to arrest his ex-girlfriend for assaulting him. So we don't know nothing. And I'm happy that Anthony Mackie kept his mouth shut, because if he would have said just even a hint of anything, they would have tried to throw his ass under the fucking bus too. Mm-hmm. Be safe out here, y'all.
Exactly.
So yeah, that's all I have to present. See, it was a light news week, y'all. Ain't too much happening.
And we also haven't been gone for 1,000 months.
Right.
This is what happens. This is what happens when we actually record weekly.
Yeah.
We can stay on top of the news.
And by the way, I'm so happy that people were excited that we back to doing weekly episodes. Y'all missed us. Oh my God.
That's cute.
It is. Oh. Okay, so we actually have a discussion topic. I wanted to do this last week because that's when we actually talked about it, but...
Yeah, but then I actually didn't even realize that we didn't do a discussion topic until like later on that day. I was like, We didn't even talk about that.
Okay, so for everybody who was not in our iMessage thread, so I saw a TikTok and it was talking about something called collective effervescence. And I had never ever heard of that before. Actually, I saw two TikToks that day and they were connected, but they didn't know that they was connected, but I did. I connected the dots, okay?
Right.
The first dot was the collective effervescence, and they were talking about how when humans are together in like large group settings and like concerts and like religious gatherings like church and stuff, when we all like listening to music and singing and dancing all at the same time, we get this like euphoric feeling, and it's called collective effervescence. And that's why one of the reasons why religion is
it's called unimind.
Unimind, yes. And it's actually another term called interpersonal synchrony. And it's like how
I thought you was about to say mob mentality.
I think that's part of it. Like all of this shit
so
goes
too,
together.
yeah.
But it was like some study that shows, I forgot, like I read the study not too long ago, but I think I got this off of it was like Deadline or something. I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, they were doing like a study of something, and it was like a group of people doing the same like physical motion, and they noticed that their heartbeats like synced up. It was some crazy ass shit, right? So then I keep scrolling on TikTok and I see another video, and this girl is talking about movie theater experiences that really like impacted her. And I was thinking about like how I know we both probably are going to say Infinity War, when we went and everybody's in the theater screaming, and that like Endgame, that's what I meant. When that happens, that automatically like makes your movie experience so much like higher because of like that collective effervescence and the nostalgia and like that whole group think thing. And I think that's why after No Way Home came out, I was like, I keep seeing people criticize this movie, and it's something in me that just won't let me, because I had so many moments in a theater like that. So right. I know I can't even trust my own self because I was high. Okay, I was high off life the whole time. So I wanted to ask you like what theater experiences you've had that have like been impactful to you.
I feel like the biggest one has to be Endgame. Like I don't think there will ever be a movie that takes me to that level, like, because literally everybody was cheering, everybody was so happy when Cap finally, oh my god, first of all, when Cap grabbed Mjolnir, that was just like like everybody loses their minds. Yes. And every now and then, just to feel something, just to feel alive and happy again, I will watch like theater reactions of Endgame. And it's just like you're almost like just transported back into that moment, and you just like, oh my god, like that moment was so amazing. Like, and I went and saw that movie with my whole family, not my whole family, but my nieces and my nephews. Like we was up in that bitch deep, and it was like the Thursday night, had to work the next day, ain't give a fuck.
Oh man,
it was amazing. And it was just like, and then when Cap says like Avengers Assemble, because you know it was like hinted at the end of Age of Ultron. So it was just like he had never said it, and then when he finally said it, it was just like, let's fucking go. Like, and I just don't think that anything will measure up to that.
No.
And then I've really been trying to think of anything that before that even came up to that level. And maybe like maybe Infinity War, but it was more of like heartache. Yeah it was just like everybody was like, wow, so they just,
but that collective heartache effervescence, that's something too though. We all got our feelings hurt real bad together. We survived that shit together.
Yes, for sure. I don't know, like, man, it's just so crazy, like trying to think of like an experience that will ever top that or even come close.
I have
because nothing is that good.
I just want to say though that is a testament, like how deep in it, like we were down bad when Endgame came out, because for like right now today I cannot name a movie that will have you on a Thursday night going to the fucking show knowing that you got to work the next day, and a 3-hour movie at that.
Facts.
So that's some real stuff right there.
And Infinity War. I can't remember exactly my schedule for, and I know in 2019, I think I was serving, so I might not have had to work the next day. But when I saw Infinity War, I know for a fact that I saw that movie at night after working all day, went to go see the Knights at the Pavilion on the Strip, and was out there drinking, having a gay ass time. Then went to the movies at like 8 o'clock. Oh no, it was like 11 o'clock. Didn't get out till like 2 o'clock in the morning. Had to work at 8 o'clock the next morning. Like,
crazy.
There is no movie, even a Marvel movie now, would not have me out at 11 o'clock at night.
I swear, it was a different time. It was
definitely a different time,
man. Oh my god. But yeah, I don't think that I've had anything that will top that, but I do have a lot of theater experiences that I felt like were memorable. So Twilight Breaking Dawn Part 2, that's what that video was about, and I had the same feeling. Like, you've seen those movies, right? I don't want to spoil it. You probably ain't gonna watch them.
I'm never gonna watch them.
Okay, so
I watched the first one, and then I watched one at the theater with you and our old friend. And yeah. I want to say maybe she was there.
I don't remember. This is news to me.
I saw a movie with you, one of the Twilight movies downtown. The one when she was pregnant, maybe.
Okay, so that might have been Breaking Dawn Part 1.
Then maybe I didn't see that with you, because you said you saw that with your ex.
I think I saw Part 2 with my ex. I don't remember nothing else. The only reason I remember Part 2 is because of this collective effervescence bullshit.
Well, I don't remember anything about them movies, and I literally couldn't care less. So you can go ahead and spoil it for me and the listeners.
Yeah.
Because if you ain't seen it by now, you ain't going to see it.
It's like 100 years old at this point. But so in the second part, there's like a battle scene, and one of the characters like gets beheaded. Like, it's crazy. Like, those movies was so fucking tame, but that battle scene, it just went crazy out of nowhere. And we were all in the theater screaming. I remember that.
I know that scene is something that, like, is always, like, memed as, like, something that would kind of go down in history. Like, when everybody was just like, what the fuck?
Yes.
Type of moment.
That's because it turned out to be, like, a premonition.
Not real.
And it didn't happen. And I hate that. I was so mad. Like, are you fucking kidding me? I thought y'all finally grew a pair. Guess not.
And they said, no, why would we do that?
This is a teen movie. What do you think this is, Brittany? That's what they said to me.
You know what's so crazy is I think that if I was to watch, like, Game of Thrones with other people, then I would have felt that.
Oh, yeah.
Like, especially, like, Battle of the Bastards and Winds of Winter.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I know for a fact that if I would have watched those episodes with other people, with, like, a group of people.
Like how they used to watch them in bars, right?
Yeah. Like, I know that I probably would have felt all of the feelings.
Oh, yeah.
I would have felt all of the things, you know?
Yeah.
But I used to watch them by myself. And I would just not breathe.
I mean,
just imagine that many people just not breathing.
We kind of relive that with the TV shows through like Twitter and stuff. Like when people used to live tweet TV shows, you kind of feel something
apart. Yeah.
Okay, so that movie, and then Get Out at the end with the cop scene.
Yes.
I remember everybody in the theater was like, oh my God, like all together.
Yeah, I remember I actually saw that one when it came out.
Yeah.
And it was I think I told you it was a couple sitting next to me. They were interracial, and I was just like, ooh.
How's that car ride home gonna go?
Exactly.
Okay, so I got Infinity War and Endgame, and of course Spider-Man No Way Home. Honorable mention is just for me like movie theater experiences that I just remembered. Not that they were special, but a few movies that I remember being in the seat. Was the first Harry Potter. I remember my mama took me to see that. The last Lord of the Rings movie, I remember my mama took us to see that too.
I love that.
And then when I left the theater to see Batman The Dark Knight. Shit,
Now that.
the Heath Ledger one. I can't remember the name.
Yes.
I remember walking out of the show saying, "This is the best fucking movie I've ever seen." Like, I remember that.
Did I see that with you?
I don't know. No.
I know I saw that one downtown.
I saw that one with our other friend.
Child. Anyway, so.
But yeah, that's nice. It's nice to have those experiences because I don't know, like, with the state of like the movie industry and all that, and just like how the world is. I don't know if people will have that experience because I feel like our generation, like, going to the movies was our thing. Like, before it got super expensive, we would just go to the show. Like, I would go see a $5 matinee movie. It didn't have to be Tuesday. That's just how much matinees cost.
It was cheap.
It was really cheap.
Back in the day. It was just something that you could just go and do. And I remember you and Prince used to go to the movies all the time.
We saw everything.
All of the time. And now, I can't do it.
No, we be picking and choosing.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, so there we go. Oh my God, we is just zooming through this fucking show, baby. It's like, it ain't been 30 minutes yet. Oh my God.
I'm so proud of us.
All right. So let's talk about Jessica Jones.
Let's.
The shit really hit the fan in these episodes, man.
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Let me tell you.
Episodes 5 through 8 of all these series, except for, Shit Fist, have just always hit me, gave me what I need to get.
Mm-hmm. Because the first 4 are always kind of difficult because, especially for me, sorry, I have ice on my tongue. That's why I'm talking weird. But episodes 1 through 4 are always so difficult to get through, and they're so difficult to take notes for.
Yeah.
Because it's a lot of, like, exposition. It's not a lot of, like, action.
Mm-hmm.
But then 5 through 8, shit always hits the fan. Like, that's when I am just, like, I can watch the episodes just, like, straight through.
Yeah.
And, like, yesterday, it was just me and the baby. And I really got through, like, 2 episodes.
Oh, okay.
Just by myself, didn't have to have nobody watching the baby to do it. I was just zooming through. I was like, oh shit, I gotta take notes. I was just enjoying it.
Oh my God. Okay, so these 4 episodes. So basically we seeing Jessica like dealing with the consequences of her past and her family's involvement in IGH essentially, and then Trish and her pursuit of happiness, powers, whatever the fuck she want to do. In a shocking revelation, we find out that the crazy lady, the power lady that they've been chasing is Jessica's mama.
Guess what?
What?
I had that shit spoiled for me.
Dang. I was trying so hard not to say nothing, and somebody already spoiled it for you?
Well, because last week, we were supposed to start recording like 3 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
So I had started like rewatching the episodes like whenever, like a week prior to that.
Yeah.
And then by the time I finished 4 episodes, I was just like, okay, like I need like a refresher.
Mm-hmm.
So I went on like a wiki page.
Oh.
And it was literally, Brittany, like the 3rd sentence.
Damn.
And I was just like, there was so much more that happened.
Wow.
And I was just like, I like glanced at the sentence. I just saw like mom 5 years, and I was like, no. I was like, fuck. This always happens to me.
Damn.
I know.
Well, so you weren't shocked, but you were like, oh, okay. That makes sense.
No, I wasn't shocked. So then when it was like coming up, I already knew it was happening.
Yeah.
And I was just like, phooey. I was so disappointed.
Well, let's go ahead and talk about Jessica and her backstory, since we are on the subject. So basically, Jessica and her family were going, I think, on vacation, and then they got into a really bad car accident. So we already know that the brother and the dad died, but Jessica and her mom were able to be saved. But Jessica's mama was like basically half dead. Like,
yeah,
she was really bad.
What's What's so crazy is when I was watching, like, maybe it was like the first episode or the second episode of this season, it was like a shot of like it was like the crime scene photos, and it
Mm.
was like it just had an emphasis on this hand. And I was just like, watch one of her parents be alive or somebody be alive or something. And that was just like a random thought that I had. I
Yeah.
didn't even write it down. I was just like, it was just so much emphasis, and they kind of lingered on this picture for so long. And I was just like, well, that seems important.
Mm-hmm.
And that was her mama. And guess what? Her mama alive. And I'm like, that's what I get for trying to read shit.
Being too
No,
nosy.
I know. Note to you kids out there: don't read. No, I'm just kidding.
Yes, her mama is alive and not well. They basically had to like do genetic altering on her body to like grow her skin and put her back together. And she was at the facility with Jessica, which is crazy that she actually bumped into her. Like, I really like the flashbacks in these last couple episodes, especially like 7 and 8. Because I feel like
wasn't 8 just like, I mean, 7 was like a complete flashback
I
episode,
think so.
wasn't it?
Yeah.
Until the very end.
Yeah. Yeah, I think episode 7 is just her mom telling her everything that happened over the past 5 years. Mm-hmm. And then I think I can't remember which one of those episodes was.
It had been 17 years. She was in a coma for 5 years.
Oh, right. I looked at my notes and it said 5, and I just thought. And I think, was that the same episode when we got like the whole Patsy backstory? It might have been all that. Okay, same episode. Yep. So, yeah. So she's explaining all of this shit to Jessica. And Jessica was like, okay, but you still a murderer and your ass going to jail. And I was like, Jessica, goddamn.
Okay. But like my whole thing was like, I don't necessarily disagree with Jessica.
She's not wrong.
Because like at this point, 17 years removed, she's mourned her family. She's accepted the loss. She's like, okay, my family is dead. I have to move on. Not that she's really moved on, because she still holds a lot of that like grief with her. But she's at least accepted the fact like they're not coming back. You know what I mean? And, so much time has passed. And it's just like, and then you find out that your mom is alive. But she's also the crazy person that is the reason why you have been in so much trouble lately. And she tried to kill you.
Yes. I have a question. This all started because Trish was looking into IGH, right? Or,
yeah,
okay.
I think so.
Because I was trying to remember that. Like, she just started killing people out of nowhere. And I know she was doing it to, like, cover her own tracks. But if I'm right that it was no tracks to cover until Patricia
Trish started, yeah.
Okay, she got hell bent on this thing, and so yes, I agree with you that her mama, she definitely went about the shit the wrong way, especially when you see that like the logical thing, in which I'm like looking at Carl because I'm like, why the fuck didn't you tell this lady this? The logical thing is, okay, Trish is starting to look into y'all. Now might be the time to try to get Jessica at least to herself and be like, hey, I'm alive. IGH saved me. Tell Barbie to leave the shit the fuck alone.
Right.
And then it probably would have had a completely different outcome. Like, you wouldn't have to kill all these people.
Had to kill Simpson. Had to kill Chang's best friend.
She was going to kill Trish.
She was going to kill Trish. She was like literally boxing up freaking Jessica in the bar. Like,
all of this could have been avoided. Like, she a PI, you know what she does. You saw that they weren't going to stop, so why not just be like, hey, yes, it's despicable, it's a secret organization, but I'm your mama and I'm alive. Could you fucking drop it, maybe?
Yeah. Especially at some point prior to Jessica getting locked up for all of the shit that you have been doing.
Yes. Like, it just kept getting worse and worse and worse the longer it took for her to finally be like, hey, it's me. I'm her. Or what does Taylor Swift say? It's me. I'm the problem. It's me. Or whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. I can't remember what I was just about to say. Her mama was crazy though.
She was.
Like a psycho.
But I liked her mama towards the
Really?
end. I mean, it's on brand for me to like the crazy bitch.
True.
But I just felt like she was trying her best. And I feel like one thing that I guess the whole accident and stuff stopped was Jessica's maturing, because I feel like as they were having that conversation at the end and her mom was finally like able to be calm and talk through her feelings and stuff, you could see like just by the stuff that Jessica was saying, she's still very mentally immature when it comes to her parents and like adult figures. And I know it didn't help
Yeah.
that she was raised by Trish fucked up ass mama, but you know, most people once you get older, because this accident happened when she was like what, 14, 15? Yeah, she was a young teenager. After that point, like once you grow up, you understand that your parents are human and they have like faults and they're not perfect and they don't know everything, and you
And it's
see
also
them differently.
easier. Yeah, and it's also easier to realize, well, to not know the issues that your parents were probably having if you've kind of like memorialized them in your mind, and they're like, now that they're dead, they're these angels and saints, and it's easy to probably like block out the bad things and just only accept like the good aspects of it and everything.
Yeah.
My parents was fucked up like when I was growing up, and I am fully aware of how messed up they were. So it's just like, I don't know which would be better.
And I feel like sometimes it's hard for people to hold their dead parent accountable for the stuff that they did while they were alive, because they feel like guilty, like, oh, I shouldn't, you know, talk negatively about the dead, or they're dead now, so it doesn't matter. But like, two things could be true. Like, you could have a fucked up parent and they could also be dead, and you can also be sad about it.
Exactly.
Yeah. So yeah, when Jessica had said, you in here shacking up with this man that's not your husband or something, she accused her mom of infidelity. And I was like, girl, this what you mad about?
Exactly.
Come on.
Out of all the things.
Not you mad that she cheating on your dead daddy.
Right. Like, come on now. It is weird. It is very weird that, I don't know, it's almost like a Frankenstein in love type of...
Carl definitely a freak. He definitely is he got some kinks about him, I could tell.
Yeah, because like this woman is absolutely crazy, and if it's like highly emotional situations that make her crazy, how she act after y'all been having sex? Cause that don't sound right.
Man, I would hate to disappoint her.
It sounds abusive. It sounds like he is like, he loves being in an abusive situation.
He like a little BDSM. He I think so. Yeah. I love her crazy ass. I'm sure you do.
I ain't gonna kink shame.
I'm not. I'm just saying, that freak flag was waving. Jessica peeped it. I peeped it.
It was very much flying. Her mama looked like a linebacker. I ain't gonna lie. She is very like...
That's a big woman.
That is a huge ass woman.
Yeah. I wonder how tall she is in real life. She gotta at least be 6
feet. Yeah.
Maybe
6 some.
Yeah. And just
maybe more. I feel like my sister is 6'1", 6'2", and like, maybe because I've just always known her, she just doesn't seem that tall to me.
No, y'all all tall as hell, just big humans.
I'm not that tall.
You taller than me.
Wasn't hard. That wasn't even hard.
All my friends are taller than me. I don't know what it is. I like Amazons, I guess. Keep them around me.
Yeah, you do.
But yeah, it's just her big ass mama and then little old Carl and his ponytail.
He reminded me of
Aldrich Killian.
He
does give Guy Pearce. He does. Yeah.
Like in the character when he was explaining like the DNA regeneration and all that stuff with the ponytail and the glasses, I was just like, they just hit copy and paste and added a great value package and sticker to this man.
Yeah, for sure. Did you find it?
I'm still looking.
Okay. But
I'm trying to find the actress's name.
I think that a lot of that, like that, I just think like I liked the interactions between Jessica and her mom, and I think that's why I
Mm-hmm.
liked her because in the when the I think the what episode 8, whenever they left and like they went to Jessica's apartment and she's like, oh, speaking Spanish to the guy, and she's just
Oh
like,
yeah.
she's being a mom, like an annoying mom, and then Jessica like kind of has to soften around her because like, yeah, you mad that she lied to you and all of this stuff, but I know she feel fucking good that her mom is alive and she gets to talk to her. Like, it's a lot of conflicting emotions, but I just like seeing her be with her mama, and I was like, oh, this is cute. Even if they got a complicated relationship, it's still adorable. I liked it.
It was, and I just love that she was kind of like calling Jessica out on her shit too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, girl, calm
Yes.
down. Like,
In a lot of ways, they are the same person. Like, personality wise, they
they
both have a
are.
badass temper. They both are
She's
super.
6'1". Sorry, that took forever to find.
Okay. Yeah, we was right. But they both got a bad temper. Like, it's like evil twin, evil twin. They looking in a mirror.
Exactly. There's Spider-Man pointing.
Yes.
Can we talk about how bad of a freaking private investigator Chang is? Why are you here?
Man.
He is just such a waste of space. And he just like after the police let Jessica go because in episode 4 she got arrested
Mm-hmm.
and everything, and then she ended up telling the cops all that she knew about IGH and everything about not the professor, the doctor and everything, and they ended up releasing her.
Mm-hmm.
And here come Chang, talk about some I don't even know what he said.
Did he like
But
run up
just
on him
like
on the street or
he
something?
did, and it's just like I feel like he is letting his personal feelings and his hatred for Jessica get
Mm-hmm.
in the way of like logic and his judgment, because I am pretty sure he is the one that shot at them, because he said that he was in a war and he was obviously getting they got sniped by somebody,
Yeah.
and I am willing to bet money that it was him that did it.
Yeah. It
And
might
it's,
be. Whoever it was, they can't fucking shoot. I know that much.
I mean, I ain't say he was a good shot.
Wasn't no Frank
I
Castle.
No, if it was Frank, they would have
Mommy
been
would have been out of
dead.
here.
They would have been dead. But I don't know. It's just frustrating because it's just like you big and you think you big and bad because you have this whole like private investigating firm, and you're
Mm-hmm.
you have this nice office and all of this stuff, but it's just like if you actually like did any research or any investigating, you would know that Jessica ain't do that shit.
Exactly. It's weird that everybody just seems to like dogpile on her. And it was
Mm-hmm.
refreshing in episode 5 when like the one cop, was kind of easy on her. And it was just
Yeah.
like finally somebody who remembers what the fuck she did. I think he said like he was in the precinct
He
that day that
he said
Kilgrave
he
was
still,
there.
yeah, he would have nightmares about the fact that he had his finger on the trigger and his gun pointed at his head, and the
Mm-hmm.
only thing that stopped his nightmares was the fact that she killed him and he
Yeah.
wasn't walking around the streets anymore. And
Yeah.
it's just like I hate that they have like the black cop being the one that's like prejudiced towards Jessica.
Mm-hmm.
Like that to me, like it bothers me. But I
Mm-hmm.
was very glad that like Jessica, I mean, she had someone on her side that's just like, you know what, I know what you did, and I'm thankful for it.
Exactly. You would think more
Even
of
if
the
she
cops would be like that.
probably, exactly, even if she's probably like, damn, I had to take a life, blah 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 blah, like I don't want to be celebrated for that, but at the same time she knows how abusive and dangerous that man was, and
Mm-hmm.
this cop remembers how dangerous that man was too.
Yeah. She did what she had to do. She could have done it a lot sooner, but she didn't. She really tried her hardest not to let it get to that point. But
Mm-hmm.
I mean, she literally tried the whole fucking season. We were both yelling at the TV like, "Girl, if you don't just kill this man, come on!" Like, what are we waiting
Some
on?
people just don't deserve to live.
Man, he was one of them.
That was kind of
Unfortunately,
rude to say, but I mean,
in the context, I don't think so.
true, very true.
Um, what you want to talk about next?
Let's talk about Trish from beginning, from fucking 4 years ago, whenever, to present, because the bitch really got issues. And
Oh man.
two things that like it drives me crazy, but they're indicators of how toxic her and her mother's relationship is.
Mm.
One, the fact that her mother calls her Patsy,
Mm-hmm.
and her mother basically only thinks of her as like
Mm-hmm.
a bank, or like, you know, her chip to cash in
Mm-hmm.
and everything. Like, that is so like psychological. Like,
Yeah.
that would be like
And you could
your
even
mom calling you by your job title or something like that. Like, I don't know.
yeah. She was her meal
That's
ticket, and she very much leaned into that her entire life. And I
mm-hmm.
never even thought about like the different ways that they refer to her. But you're right, because she is the only one that calls her Patsy. And when not Jessica, when Trish refers to herself as Patsy, she's putting on a different persona, and she's usually using her status to manipulate somebody to get something else. She sees it
Exactly.
as like a mask that she's putting it
It's a
on.
character she's playing.
Yeah. That's a really good point.
And then it's just like the fact that fans will be like, oh, it's Patsy, it's Trish Walker, you know, that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just like, but then your mom calls you that too.
Yeah.
That is absolutely insane. And then the fact that the fact that she refers to her mom as mother.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like if anybody calls their mom mother,
It's very mommy
that is a
dearest.
that is that is an indication of a very cold relationship.
Yeah.
I worked at a job, and like the first job I had when I first moved back to Vegas, and you know, I already told you them people was fucking crazy, and they had a daughter that worked there, and they were very cold to this girl because she was special needs and everything. She had like
Mm-hmm.
disabilities, and they were so cold and rude to this girl all the time. And she'd be like, let me ask my mother. And then she'd be like, hello, mother. Like, it's so, like, I would never, in seriousness, call my mom mother. Because it just doesn't sound
Yeah.
nurturing.
Yeah. I agree. It's something very sinister about it. I don't know. I yeah. I call my mama mama or ma.
I call my mama mama too. Ma, mama. She's in my phone as ma.
Yeah. I'll break out a mommy too.
I
Oh,
call her momsy.
oh, that's cute.
Yeah, that's like when she just bought me a blender, and she
Mm-hmm.
was just like, "Oh, I bought you this," and I was like, "Thank you, Momsy." Like, I don't know, it's like a really cutesy name. And then sometimes I would call her Mammy, and she'd be like, "Do not call me that." And she said, "Absolutely not." But I've never once, in seriousness, called her mother.
Oh man. So about Trish Mama. Oh, I had a question for you because I cannot remember this right now. In episode 4, did we ever see Trish use the inhaler? I can't remember.
Mm-hmm.
We did? Okay.
I want to say yes.
Okay, because I could not remember when I watched episode 5, but I was like, oh, that bitch is on that stuff. And I wrote down, like, why is Trish Mama over here acting like Judge Mathis? Like, I know a crackhead when I
I
see
know
one.
her crackhead for real. I'm pretty sure I've called her. I said she looks strung out. I'm pretty sure I've called her a crackhead at least once in my notes because she was on some crackhead shit.
Yeah.
Oh no, I called the other girl a crackhead.
Okay. No,
The
her
one that's
mama was playing no game. She was like, I know when you own that shit, everybody else might sugarcoat it, which she is crazy, but she'll call a spade a spade.
mm-hmm.
You're on drugs. What you take? Which ones? I ain't gonna judge you. We gonna have to clean you up, but you could at least tell me.
Right.
And I was like, wow. But that whole thing, that engagement thing,
Oh yeah.
I could not discern how I felt about that guy. And I know, like, I think in episode 4, he was, like, on the phone whispering. And I was like, what the fuck is he up to? But I think he was
He was
just
on the
planning
phone
this.
whispering, and he was like getting shit out her phone, out her computer, being all sneaky and stuff.
Yeah. But I guess it was him planning this in the middle of the night. And it's crazy that he had to make sure Jessica got there by any means. and he had to like make it seem like
Basically
it was an emergency.
trick her.
Yeah, because she probably would have blew him off.
Yeah.
And I feel like you can't even be mad because you should know that about yourself. Like, if he asked you to meet him somewhere, you probably was going to be like, boy, I'm busy. Bye. I'm not doing that.
I did not like the proposal. I don't know. Maybe he just was so confident he thought she would say yes. But it is very presumptuous to just like invite the whole family. And I don't know. It just didn't seem romantic.
I think he just was not paying attention because I feel like anybody around him would have realized like now is not the time to propose to her. Because even like in the interactions we've seen, like I think they had sex like once and they were like affectionate, but they didn't even really spend a whole lot of time together. Like she was clearly very distracted with this case and he knew that.
And it's just like, how long were they actually dating? Because last season she was with Simpson and it's just like, how long has actually passed since then? How long they've been dating and everything? It just, I don't know. It just didn't really seem, it seemed like the gesture seemed romantic, but it also seemed like performative.
Yeah. I feel like I agree. It just he is fake. I don't know. It's something about him. And
maybe
I also
it's because he is a TV personality.
It could be that. But I also didn't like how he was talking to Jessica either. Because he said, all I want is to make Trish happy. I hope you can let that happen, at least for today. Nigga, what?
She's never not. I feel like, especially in those flashbacks, you see that like Jessica is the only person that has Trish's best interests at heart.
Yeah.
Literally, she is the only person. Everybody else is trying to mooch off of her, trying to gain something from her. And and Jessica is like, they're actually sisters. You know what I mean? Like blood wouldn't make them any closer. Right. So it's just like, I don't think that he really understands their relationship.
No, and I think he has not been around long enough in order to be talking to Jessica like that. Or, I mean, I feel like he could have, if he would have talked to Jessica about the proposal, she probably would have told him, like, I don't think that she is even thinking about you like that right now. And I'm happy that she said no, even though she said thank you. She said thank you instead of yes. And I was like, that was a red flag.
I was like, she never said yes.
Yeah. She was like, oh, thank you. And it's fucked up, but I don't know. Well, you not paying attention, that's what happens
and
to
then
you.
Also,
I don't know.
If somebody's just like telling you like, oh yeah, I love you, like, and y'all had good sex and all of this stuff, like I feel like you can, especially men, like they look past like all the other red flags. Yeah. And it's just like, I think he likes like the fact that, oh, she is like an on-air personality, I'm a TV personality, we're both a famous couple, like that type of thing. Like we look good together, but not the aspect of like, are we good for each other? Yeah. Do we have like an actual good relationship? And I think he definitely jumped the gun. And then like too, like the fact that she said like, I was disappointed that this wasn't about a meeting. You know what I mean? Like, she's like, I didn't want to. Now, who the fuck is that? No.
I think, luckily, my husband came home, so he can figure it out.
I forgot where I was going with that. But, just like she said, like, I didn't want to be with him. I wanted to be him. And I think they both kind of had a little bit of that. Like, they just liked the way that they looked with each other. Yeah,
I think he maybe didn't think that what she was doing with the whole IGH thing is what she wants to do. Like, that's who she wants to become. She's still trying to figure out who she is, in my opinion. And I feel like he just wanted her to be Trish Walker with the talk show host. And maybe, she's cute. She do a little investigative reporter sometime, but she really just is cute radio host. And this is what we're going to do. But I don't know.
That's not who she is.
Get good riddance to bad rubbish. And great value, John Bernthal.
I just like, I don't know, in the flashbacks, I was just like, wow, like Trish was really a freaking cunt. Like, man, in the bathroom on her knees sucking dick for drugs.
It was cray cray. Rich. I want your cray. I want your cray cray or whatever that song
That
was.
song was so freaking terrible. That song was absolutely horrific.
I wonder who they drew inspiration from, because I feel like that was reminding me of like a
Willa
bad,
Ford.
I don't know.
I wanna be bad.
Yes, like a Disney star
Oh,
is now, sexy. She's hit puberty, but she was
you
a
remember
Disney
when
kid.
Lindsay Lohan came out with a song?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I guess.
People love that song too.
I actually really did like that song.
Maybe she was like, maybe she had a Miley Cyrus journey. Maybe that's what it was.
Let's not. Miley actually has some bops. So the climb, baby, like.
Oh yeah, I forgot she
Miley,
has her people.
Yeah, Miley had bops. I actually be like finding myself singing Hannah Montana songs every now and then.
Tardy for the Party. That's what the song reminded me of from Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Oh,
when Kim decided to make a song, that was what this is.
Yes,
bad.
It was on that level of bad. Like,
yes,
we can't because at least like Disney was producing them hits. Like,
yeah, and you know
they
what?
Was doing a damn thing.
Jessica was the only one that was keeping it real with her, because all them other cokeheads was in the club. Oh my god, it's so great! You're gonna get a VMA. Jessica looked at her like, "Bitch, please be for real."
Exactly.
Who finna give you a VMA for this?
For that song, like, absolutely freaking not.
Oh my
and then
god.
like, and it's really sad that like. We can in that flashback we watched like Jessica have this relationship and she was in love. She was still her very dark, sarcastic, asshole like self, but she was at least like happy in a relationship.
And she wore lipstick.
Is that what was different about her face?
And she wore a different color. Like, she wore color clothes when she was in the club. She had on like a little purple shirt and she had on red lipstick. And like,
what's
her hair was short.
I thought she had on orange and black.
I don't know. It was a color. I remember that.
It wasn't just straight up black.
Right.
That's true.
It was a color. And I remember she had on lipstick and her hair was shorter. She didn't have I don't think she had on any makeup, but her face looked like it had more color.
Yeah.
She didn't look drunk.
Looked more alive. She looked way more alive.
Yeah. And
I love how like pale she is with that dark hair.
Mm-hmm. Little Wednesday Addams.
I love that look for her, for Kristen Ritter.
Yes.
But yeah, like, and then it ended so tragically.
It was terrible. And you know what?
The men are in jail because her mama killed that dude.
They fucking deserved it.
They did.
Fuck them dudes. But so she was the mama bear. I was cheering for her when she was bashing his head up against the wall in that fucking alley. I said, yeah, mama bear. And then I also wrote down, my grandma used to tell my mama that she could see around corners. That's what that reminded me of, because her mama was like, I'm going to find out what the fuck it is to be found out, first of all. But I was just sitting here thinking, because remember we was just talking about like, okay, her mama went on this killing spree really because Trish started investigating. Jessica ended up with that fucking bum because Trish was being a bitch, a strung out bitch. So... Sure, it was
and her mom killed her boyfriend.
Yeah. So none of that would have happened if Trish would have actually been a good sister, because drug abuse aside, you didn't have to tell her that she was fucking leeching off of you. Bitch, you knew that was not true. You knew it wasn't true.
Mm-hmm.
And then she ended up
because
dropping out of school.
There's actually people that are leeching off of you.
Yes.
You not saying nothing, and they enabling your drug addiction, and they enabling you to go suck dick in a freaking club bathroom.
Man,
like
dirty coochie behaviors, and they was encouraging it all.
Mm-hmm.
Terrible.
And they would have told all that shit to TMZ for some money.
Yep. And Jessica actually came back, and I was just like, you know what, Patsy, she might be the fucking problem. She might be everybody's goddamn problem. I don't know.
And then she gave the drugs to Malcolm. Let's talk about Malcolm.
Okay, wait. Let's finish her. Are we done with Trisha's backstory? She was on drugs. This is how, like, I think they showed us the first time she ended up agreeing to go to like rehab.
Mm-hmm.
And after Jessica mama killed the dude, they ended up being friends again.
And she used her boyfriend's name for his club, for her
for Alias.
For Alias.
And I am happy that...
Why do I always look at that word and be like, Elias? Like, there's something wrong with my brain. I look at that word and I just, in my brain, in my adult, intelligent brain, I'd be like, Elias.
Yes.
Something wrong with me.
I hope that... Well, I'm happy that Jessica knows all this. I'm happy that her mama told her, like, the whole entire story. And, you know, more information is better. So, that's that. So,
because she was carrying that guilt around.
She was very guilty. She
thought that because she beat those dudes up, they came back and caught him alone. And jumped him. And
then after that, we see how ashamed of her powers and stuff that she became. Like, she already was self-conscious about him, I would say. Because when she told Trish, like, yeah, he knows all about me and he doesn't care. Mm-hmm. And so she was always self-conscious. And now we see why she's even more so that way. Okay, yeah, I think that's all my notes. Oh, and I was just gonna say I'm happy that she didn't end up with him any longer because she was headed straight to the fucking penitentiary. Like,
no, for sure.
They were gonna find out. They were stealing every fucking thing. Mm-hmm. And she just thought that was so cute. And I was like, I'm so happy that when I was her age, because she was in college, so she's probably like 20, 21.
Yeah.
I'm happy that I wasn't a superpower person because I would be super...
I would have been doing the same thing too.
And super dizzy because I was already regular dizzy and I had no powers. It would have been so bad. Mm-hmm. It was just terrible. And this is like one of those very like immature, like dumbass relationships that you be in when you that age. And it always be terrible. And the guy is always the fucking worst. It's a canon event.
And it's just like, at what age do men realize, oh, I could get girls to do whatever I want because they just want to be loved and accepted?
It gotta be young. It might be like 17.
Like, what that's like pathological. Like it is.
Yeah.
It is freaking nuts.
That's crazy.
That men at such young ages be like, oh yeah, I can get her, as long as she's in love with me, I can get her to do whatever I want.
And we be so dumb about it.
So dumb.
Like she had no idea.
I'm glad like my high school love was like not a sociopath. It was like a nice, kind gentleman. Yeah. And everything like that. Like the second one.
The devil himself. Beelzebub. That one.
Beelzebub. No, for real though. But it's just like the fact, like women do. Oh, men are
the fucking worst.
She was a bum. Like podcast.
He made her steal her own gift. The leather jacket that she always wears. I was like, bitch, how do you not see that he is a fucking bum? He probably don't even pay for this fucking apartment. Like,
hey, he probably squatting.
Come on. Her mama was just looking out for her. I'm not mad. You went about it the whole wrong way, but
no, I really would have liked to see her mama up against Luke Cage.
Oh shit.
Where was her mama during Kilgrave?
But that's the thing. She didn't fucking know. She was minding her business somewhere fucking on Carl. It's Trish. So Trish should have started being nosy earlier. And then her mama would have, oh man. No questions asked. Dead.
Yeah.
Okay, but anyway.
Roll credits.
Right. So back to present day. We find out that Malcolm has a crush on Trish, which I didn't pick any of that up.
Yeah, I didn't either. I was like, where the hell did that come from?
No, at all. And Trish was just like,
they're never even around each other.
Barely.
I was like, what?
Like, the first, 4 episodes of the season, they were together when he was, like, with her, when she was, like, having him record that conversation secretly. Yeah. And he tried to talk to her about it, but she just brushed him off. So I'm just like...
And Jessica wasn't even around for those conversations.
Exactly. So how do you talking about he like her? Like, I mean, she cute, he a dude, of course. But anything more than that, like, where did that come from?
Exactly. I think that was definitely just like a little plot device to be like, oh, and now she's going to get him on drugs.
Man. And you know what? I will give Malcolm a little bit of credit because I feel like I kept thinking like, why do nobody but her mama peep the fact that she is high out of her goddamn mind? Like, when her and Jessica went to that golf place, I thought for sure Jessica was going to be like, bitch, what's going on with you?
Exactly.
Nothing. So I'm assuming maybe she's just too distracted. But Malcolm was pressing her like, I came in here, you was sick. I give you this thing, you go to the bathroom, then you fucking me. We wake up, you look crazy. You go to the bathroom, now you look great again. What's going on?
Exactly.
Hello?
Exactly.
And then a couple hours, he put that together.
Mm-hmm. He's also an addict.
Yeah.
So it's like game recognized game. But I don't know. I'm just like really rooting for him. And I don't know. These last few episodes, I'm just like, I do not fucking like Trish.
Absolutely.
And it's just like, you're a terrible person. As an addict, like, you gonna get another addict, like, it's natural, it's not any drug. You don't know what the fuck it is.
And then they established that, too. Because he told her that. He was like, you have no idea, like, what's in this stuff. And she was just like, well, I know what it does. Y'all, so we've had this conversation, and we've established that you don't give a fuck what you put in your body.
Exactly.
He said he didn't agree with it before, so you already knew, like, you knew what you were doing. You're despicable.
She is a terrible person.
And then he's so, like,
people pleasing,
maybe naive or something. He's so good-natured. Yeah. That's the thing. Like, when he went to this club, because he's like, okay, well, Jessica said to leave alias IGH stuff alone, so I'm gonna do what the fuck she said, unlike Trisha.
Yep.
And so he's trying to get dirt on Jerry's partners. And so he finds out that one of them is gay, and he goes to like a gay bar, and instead of, like, getting the pictures or whatever, which I thought that's what he was gonna do, I thought he was gonna try to like impress Jessica and be like, look, I did it. But instead
he's just playing them against each other.
Yeah, which is even smarter. I was like,
and then he got even more information. So now he got information on him, and the dude gave him information about Chow.
Yes. I was like, look at you. You learning this shit.
And not to do it in such a
disgusting, low, bottom of the barrel ass way.
Exactly. Yeah. Love that for him.
I do.
Because he could have like played along with it, got dude butt naked, and blackmailed him. Yeah. Whatever the case may be.
Or just like he could have just
told his wife,
waited until somebody like went and like maybe they were making out or dancing. He could have just took pictures of him on the dance floor surrounded by half naked sweaty men, and boom, there you go.
And then you kind of could have connected the pieces that way.
Yeah,
I don't know. I just like, if it's no one else that I am like just rooting for,
it's him.
It's him. Like, he is so good natured. And, he was manipulated by Kilgrave. And then he was manipulated. I just need him to stand up.
I need him to get away from this white bitch. I said, what would Dr. Umar say right now?
I know, for real.
She gonna tell him, it's not addictive. Bitch, you don't know that.
You don't even know that.
It's not addictive.
But the way that you was just looking strung out, throwing up all over the place, and then you took a little hit of that, and now you better again.
You should.
And then we didn't even talk about the fact that she took a hit of that first night, and she was on the bus looking for trouble. She was looking for somebody to beat up. She was looking for it. Mm-hmm. And it's just like, are you that low in your like non-powered ways, and you just feel so out of control that you have to take an experimental drug that you don't know how it's affecting your brain, your body, nothing, your heart? I was like, please don't let Malcolm have some heart condition we don't know about.
I was so happy when he first, like that morning when he was first pressing her about taking that shit. Mm-hmm. She was like, I'm about to go look through the bars and find Jessica. And she was like, are you coming? And he's like, no. I was so happy that he didn't go with her because, like you said, she was out looking for trouble. She is so reckless. She's a reckless ass white woman. And as a black man, he needs to stay the fuck away from her because it's different when she do that shit around Jessica. Because Jessica can control her, push come to shove, but she's also a white woman. So whatever trouble she's going to get in, she gonna get out of it.
Yep.
Malcolm, you do not have that. You do not have super strength. You cannot.
You don't have white privilege. You don't have pretty privilege. You fine as hell, but you don't have the same type of privilege, baby. Like,
none of that. So I don't know. he did take a hit of that inhaler thing. I hope that
Immediately regretted it. So
immediately did and told her stay away from me. I hope the fuck that she do, and I hope
mm-hmm.
that he snitches and tells Jessica what she been doing.
Yes.
Because that's fucking crazy. But dang, it was something else that you just said that I was gonna respond to, and I can't remember. It was about Trish.
Was it about how she was throwing it?
Oh
And
no, how you said that you feel like Trish is fighting for control. And that's definitely like a theme that I've seen in a lot of the characters, especially Jerry.
yes.
But Jessica too, like she's trying to control like her story, who she is, and like all these different situations. She's trying to get control over her mom. In this situation, she's trying to get control over her life. Trish wants to have powers. She wants to have control of her body and her decisions because she's never had that. Like her mama sold her into fucking Hollywood, and she had to deal with people abusing her body and treating her however she want. And I think even with her drug use, she probably was just trying to have control over something, even though it ended up being negative. And now she's down the same fucking path, essentially. Like she wants to be a superhero because she want to be a big and bad, and she don't want nobody to be able to control her ever
or
again.
take advantage of her to hurt her, anything like that.
Exactly.
And I'm not sure if we had talked, because we mentioned that last week, but I'm not sure if we mentioned the fact that like Jessica wanting control of her life it makes so much sense because of everything that happened with Kilgrave and the fact that he was making her do things, out of her control just because he told her to do it. You know what I mean? And it's just like, and now she's just like, she doesn't have that influence. So now she kind of has to like change her brand a little bit to make it so that other people know that she's not a murderer, get control over her narrative, basically.
Yeah. Yep. Okay, let's take another
and
break.
Jerry's still dying.
Yeah, let's take a break
down
and
on crackheads.
talk about Jerry when we come back.
Okay.
Okay. So Jerry fucking Hogarth, dude. I just want to say that as soon as that girl ended up at her apartment, I already knew what type of time Jerry Hogarth was on.
100%.
Yeah.
Besides Jessica, I don't think that there has been a cooch that has been placed in front of Jerry that she don't want to eat. I'm just saying. I think that she just be like, love that for her. But like,
well, I was referring to the fact that I knew she was going to try to use her to find out about IGH.
Oh, yeah, that too.
The coochie bumping part, sure, of course, yes.
Well, especially once she cleaned up and I was just like, oh, that's actually like a cute girl. Like,
yeah.
Jerry is definitely about to.
Jerry B, she got a roster, boy. Jerry be taking them bitches down.
I got a white girl on my roster.
I be feeding her pasta and lobster.
Exactly. But no, I definitely knew she was going to try and use that to her benefit too. Like, Jerry, because she did the same thing. She did the same thing with Kilgrave.
Yeah.
If you leave Jerry alone with somebody that got information or with somebody that she can use to her benefit, she's going to do it.
Yeah. She's an opportunist, man.
I just do not understand why Jessica keep going to this lady. Oh, because she's literally a get out of jail free card.
She is. And the thing too, I feel like Jessica really don't be paying attention. Like she really not into details a lot of the time. She don't
For a private investigator,
man,
she definitely be missing a lot of details.
As far as like the people that's close to her, like if you're not a job, it's a lot of stuff that you can get past Jessica, unfortunately. Because if you just know how desperate Jerry is, like if you knew her personality, like if you had sat and talked to her about her, I feel like it's very easy to figure this out. Like she loved her job. That's her entire personality. She is very classist. She's very ableist. She's very all of those things.
Yes, she is Jerry's number one fan.
Yes. So obviously she's going to look out for herself by any means. And it did not work out for her. The first time she tried to do that with Kilgrave, I don't know how it's going to work out for her this time. At the end of episode 8 or whatever, she was very hopeful and very happy. But, I mean, I don't know.
I just don't know. Like, he took away like the cramps in her hands or something.
I don't know if he did anything. I kind of feel
I think he just felt her pain,
right.
and I think he was like feeling it himself.
Maybe. And I think she saw that
And
and was like, "Oh, it's real. So all I got to do is get him out of jail, and I can convince him to fix me." Like I think that's what she's thinking. Like I don't think
but
he
I
did
also feel
much.
like he gonna take her pain on for
Maybe.
her, because it was this character like on Manifest, and he had a power that basically like he could heal people. Well, he was like an empath,
Mm-hmm.
and he could like feel people's like anger, and he can feel like any of their feelings really. But then like after a while he started taking on that pain,
Mm.
and then it was something else that happened that it just makes me think that like if this dude try to heal Jerry, he gonna fucking die.
Or it'll be like
But
the
Jerry
Green
don't
Mile.
care.
Remember the Green
Huh?
Mile when John Coffey he took his kidney stone out and then all the flies came out his mouth.
Oh yeah, that was fucking weird. I've only seen that movie the one time. It was a good movie though.
It's so sad. Oh my god. But
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. Like maybe something happened off screen that we don't know because from that interaction, I thought like, oh, he probably told her to go fuck herself. Because I thought the same thing that you just said. Like he might have to take it on because he said like I'm starting to feel sick. So to
Mm-hmm.
me, that said he was like, oh, you too sick. I got to get out of this jam.
I don't think that he did much. Maybe he did take a little bit of her pain away because he said,
Mm-hmm.
you know, it started off with hand cramps and blah 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 blah. But
Mm-hmm.
I think that he started feeling a little bit of it, and then he was just like, nah. And then from that, she was just like, oh, I got this in the bag. And
Yeah.
I was just thinking, I was like, she gonna kidnap that man and make him touch her and
Yeah.
heal her.
Yeah. Probably. I wouldn't put it past her at all. She's very desperate. She don't care.
Yeah, thanks.
But yeah,
I don't have anything else.
I don't think I do either. So next week we'll come back and we'll talk about 9 through 11. Let's move on and talk about Secret Invasion, episode 2.
Okay.
This was a good episode.
This
Oh,
was so
it was
good.
so good. Like I was watching
I
this.
just don't understand how this. I'm a. Jesus. Butterfingers over here. I want to see if the rating has gotten higher.
I don't think so because I was seeing stuff this morning that was saying like
It's lower.
it's so low. I don't understand. Like this is easily like top
This
3 or 4.
this is top two ain't number two. Like, what do
Man,
you mean?
this
Like,
is
so
so
far it is
good.
so good. Even though like audience score is 74, the average tomato meter is thermometer is 63%. And I just
What?
I don't get it.
I don't get it either. I mean, maybe the reviewers have seen more episodes, but I
I think
think
they only saw the first two.
then they just fucking lost. Because what are you. And then also, I feel like this hitting differently for us because we are black people. And I feel
Maybe
like
that's what it is.
last week I mentioned like, oh, this is like reminded me of black struggles, black American struggles specifically.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel reaffirmed in that based off the actions in this episode. And maybe like because they cannot process those deeper levels of oppression, that maybe they're missing it. But this is you're missing it, babe. Open your eyes. You're missing it.
Do you wanna I'm gonna read this, and I feel, and this is like this is a 2 out of 5 rating. And it's very wordy, and I feel like it's not saying anything.
Okay.
Where it should be taut and elliptical, it is insistently talky and overripe with exposition. Where it might have been quietly gripping, it fit it flits between scenes of cleanly choreographed action and lethargic exchanges.
Have they not seen any like spy movies? Like they be talking. Like that's
Exactly. Like
the whole point.
what that review didn't say anything,
No.
because it needs to be some type of exposition, because the last time we saw these characters, the story was in the 90s. So
Yeah.
we need to kind of know what's been going on since then, because at this point, it's been 30 years.
And it's
So that's
literally
a lot.
episode 2. Especially if they've only seen 2, maybe 3 episodes in a what, like 6 or 7 episode long show. The first episode and a half, at least, it's gonna be exposition heavy because you have to get us. We have to know what the fuck is going on. Like what?
Exactly. And yeah, it's only 6 episodes. So it's just like, I mean, if episode 6 ain't nothing happening, like, but there is action. Like, it's not like, this is another. None of it really works. The tone is too dour, especially since there's precious little tension or suspense to any of it. I don't think it's supposed to be suspenseful, though. Because we already know. I think the suspense is like, who are the people that, I don't know.
Deep ass sigh. I
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm confused. Like it's a spy espionage TV show. I'm confused about how they're saying that the tone is so serious when we get the laughy and jokey shit, y'all don't like that either.
And this
But
one says fails in its aspirations to be Marvel for adults, mostly because it's difficult to figure out what's going on in any given scene.
oh, y'all just
I'm following.
stupid.
Yeah, I'm following
Okay.
it quite well.
It's user error. Got it. Cause what? It makes perfect sense to me. Especially with this episode, it had a lot more exposition in it. It explains perfectly like what's been going on. Like
Yeah, them people stupid.
stupid as hell.
So we
Like
not gonna pay attention to
and like
those
you
reviews.
said, like we're not on this show claiming to be geniuses or
Yeah.
a resource to know everything. We are a podcast for the casual fans. When we watch this show, like we just watched it. We both just watched it today because we record on Wednesdays. I have not watched no new rock stars, nothing. I have not
Yeah.
seen a single TikTok about it. And I didn't
No.
need. I watched the episode one time.
I watched the show an hour before we recorded.
Right.
Like I didn't have enough time to.
And I perfectly understand everything that they were trying to explain to me. Like
Mm-hmm.
the Kree, we saw what happened in Captain Marvel. So if you haven't watched Captain Marvel, that might be why you don't understand what the fuck is going on. So maybe go watch that.
Yeah.
After you come back from that, you'll understand that they are exiled. It was a war on their planet against the Kree. And Captain Marvel and Nick Fury said that they were going to help them find a planet. And if you forgot that happened in that movie, they actually put the scenes in this episode of the TV show.
So you can understand what's going on.
Right. So they went off. They couldn't find nowhere to go. And I guess they came back with the people that was on that ship. And Nick Fury said that we going to figure it out. Y'all can stay here as long as y'all agree to help me do my secret spy shit. And they were like, fine, sure, because you're going to find us somewhere to be. But then some time passed. They were having trouble doing that. Then the blip happened. And he got snapped away for 5 years. During that 5 years, Talos said, I'm finna house your shit, nigga. So all y'all can move in
like,
now.
This is my house now.
Right. Put your feet up on the couch if you want to. I don't care.
Exactly. Fuck your couch, nigga.
Right. And so after he came back from the snap, which they didn't fucking help at all with, and we see why. But he came back and he, rightfully so, had some mental health issues. And so he decided to take a sabbatical on a satellite thing, Saber thing. And then now he's back, but he's also old as shit. Like, I'm just really sick of everybody coming for Nick Fury head. Leave my man's alone. Leave Papa alone. He ain't do nothing to y'all.
For real. Because he been fighting for y'all.
Yes.
He married to one of y'all.
Hello. And so, like, that's where we are. And we come back, and they done pull him back out of his mental health break to say, hey, some stuff is going on. I probably shouldn't have invited all these people to your house without asking you. Can you help me? And that's where we're at now. How did y'all miss that?
Seems pretty clear to me.
Very fucking clear.
Okay, sorry, random, but in that scene where they were like, he was like, okay, y'all help me now, I'll help y'all, blah, 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 blah. Graphics mama, She looked like a black actress under that makeup, didn't she? You could tell. You could tell.
at, at the end, when we get the reveal that that's his boo thing, he come in the house as Otis Redding playing, first of all. And then I said, oh, she might be green, but she definitely black.
What's so funny is just like, I was like, because that's Gravis, my son Gravik, whatever. And I was just looking, and then just like just the sound of her voice, I was like, that's a black woman.
Yeah.
I was like, very clearly that is a black woman. And she could have chose any race to shapeshift into.
Because you see how most of them chose to be white people.
I picked that up.
Yeah.
I picked that up.
Let's talk about that for a second, because I feel like I saw somebody say that on TikTok last week after the first episode. But I wasn't really too much paying attention to that fact. But when you think about it, that is a little strange. And then I think it's also a little strange where they're adding in the diversity. And maybe I'm getting a little too Dr. Umar with it, with the laser eyes. I don't know. But I wrote down, push me to the edge, all the scrolls are white. But why is Gravik black?
Right. I think maybe it was, obviously by this time we know that like Nick Fury was his stepdad. So maybe they took after who they admired and who they were living with and looks like I don't know, not looks like, but admired and everything. And everybody else was like, well, Talos, that's our leader. He chose to be white. So we just go, because I'm sure they probably, the Skrulls don't understand the importance at that time, didn't understand the importance of what race was. You know what I mean? Obviously, like the writers do and the producers do, but they just like, well, Talos he got that color, so I'm gonna just choose that color. You know what I mean? And then like Gravik and his mama's like, well, we living with this man that got darker skin, so we just gonna get darker skin too. And then I think also like Gravik was just like, power to the people.
I
I'm also still be black.
But I'm wondering if they had been in society at any point, because I feel like when they did that whole speech, I assumed in my head that happened after the end of Captain Marvel, because at the end of Captain Marvel they flew off.
It was years. It was like 3 or 4 years after.
So I'm wondering, like, at what point in time did they come back, and how long between that and that day happened? Because the thing that makes me ask that question is, how did they know how to turn into those people unless they had already done it before and had seen those people and lived in society? So they might have been aware of racism on some level and been like, well, those people don't get treated like shit, so I'm going to be like them and not the other people that get treated like shit.
I just assumed that because he had came back with them, that those were just faces that they just saw.
Maybe.
But not really thought too much deeper into that. But I do think now in the present, where all of these people, well, I guess they're also like stealing like white people, but I feel like now they probably have like a way bigger understanding of like,
oh yeah, for sure,
race and everything, because I'm not sure how long they were there, and if they were being kept in secret, how they would like really know the difference between how races are treated and everything. I don't know. I think that at first maybe it was just like an admiration thing, or this is the space that I'm gonna be in, and I'm gonna just tailor it to look like that person.
Maybe.
Or maybe the writers just chose them to be white. I don't know.
I mean, I definitely think like,
I think that it does have some significance, especially with Gravik.
Oh yeah, for sure.
With them other people, probably not as much. But for sure, with like Gravik and his mama, they was just like, I like this black man, and I want to look like this black man.
Yeah, for sure. I think definitely. I don't think that you can, like, if you're trying to look at things like deeper than surface value, you have to like think about the fact that Gravik is the leader of the resistance of a marginalized group, and he chose a black face. Like, yes, that means something
for sure.
So, but yeah, I do agree with you though. Like, I don't think we're ever gonna know any specifics about like that first little speech or any context behind that, but I agree.
True.
Like in present day, they know what they're doing because they've been there long enough to understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but yeah, that did make me think about like the recent MCU villains and how they all have been like black or women. Like with Ant-Man 3, we had Kang as the villain. Guardians of the Galaxy 3, we had the High Evolutionary. The Marvels is going to be a black woman. She's going to be that Kree person, Dara Bean. And then with Secret Invasion, we got Gravik. And I was just like, we do have a lot of black heroes. Well, we got T'Challa and Shuri. We got Rhodey. We got Sam Wilson. And then we'll have Monica Rambeau. And allegedly we'll get Ironheart at some point. So
right.
We do have people on both sides, but I don't want to see Marvel have diversity without thinking about that like intentionally. Like you can't just say, oh well, y'all want some black, we don't have no black superheroes, we'll just make the villain black and satisfy them. Like that's not always the answer.
You know what's so crazy, like I actually read something about that earlier, and let me see if I can find it. Oh, it says systemic racism and discrimination should be recognized and can inform marketing. Stories of struggle, oppression, and trauma, while important, they can also be limiting. And so stories about Black joy can be overlooked, where positive emotional representations of Black people are overshadowed by political or historical events. Yeah, I thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
So it's funny that we're talking about that now, when it's just like, we want to see like Black heroes. Like obviously we want to be represented, but we don't always want to be represented as like the person that has to overcome struggles and the one that has to be the villain and all that stuff. Like we don't need to always see that. Like we want to be the villain, we want to be a good villain, but we don't only want to be seen as the villain. We don't only want to be seen as the one that has all this uphill struggle and the trauma and all that stuff. Like, dang, can we get a good story? Can we get a happy story?
Yeah, can we just be carefree and happy? And I really do hope they add a live action Miles Morales to this shit, because we need a happy, positive kid who's just trying to save Brooklyn or wherever the fuck he was at.
Queens, right?
One of them was in Queens, one of them was in Brooklyn, I think.
Oh, true.
One of those boroughs. But yeah, so
we need to talk about the conversation. Oh, I forgot we were recording. I almost took my shirt off. I'm hot.
Almost gave us a show, y'all.
I know. I'm hot. Hold on, let me turn the air on. But yeah, I'm up here like I was really about to take my sweater off. But we have to talk about the conversation between Rhodey and Fury.
Baby, all skin folk ain't kin folk. That's what that shit was telling me. Oh, man. It was so... And this is what I'm talking about. I don't think that this shit was probably hidden for a lot of these dog whistle-ass racists, because between that conversation that he had with Rhodey and the conversation him and Talos had on that train car... And especially like when they hiding on the train car, Talos turns into a white Russian woman or German woman, and he's like... A Black American on this train?
Exactly.
Yeah,
You'll
right.
probably, if she's, he was like, oh, you have a bigger chance of interacting with an alien than finding a Black man on this train.
Like they're bringing up racism. Like it's happening, guys. You can't ignore it.
Exactly. But it was really like interesting. Like during the conversation, Fury was just like, men that look like us don't get promoted because our daddies got us that promotion, or because of who our daddies know. He's like, we paid the iron price for this.
Yeah.
He's like, we earned this in blood. Like, we not mediocre. We got this because we earned it through like the freaking skin of our teeth. We got this shit, And he's basically like, we got to look out for each other. And Rhodey is just like, I don't got to look out for nobody. He's basically like, what did he say? He was basically like, I don't give a fuck if you look like me, if you're my friend, or if I admire you. Like, I can't. He basically called Fury mediocre. He's like, I can't get I couldn't get where I am by taking jobs from mediocre men that don't look like you and giving it to, mediocre men that do.
Oh, I was just that whole conversation. I was like, watch your mouth when you talking to Big Fury
For
because who the fuck are
real.
you? Like he really forgot where the fuck he came from. And
Mm-hmm.
that's it should have been a red flag that Tony Stark was his best friend. First of all, that should have been the first one. But you're where you're at now, probably because Nick Fury was like, I want the Iron Patriot. Like this whole
Mm-hmm.
Avengers thing, like it's like Wesley Snipes with Blade in the MCU. Like these two things, it might have happened separately, but they go together.
Right.
Okay, the Avengers Initiative and then Iron Man doing like because Nick Fury saved fucking Iron Man.
Yep.
Y'all, and so you were able to have his tech and have him continue to improve your tech and be a part of the whole Avengers thing. And that's probably why your clearance in the government is so high because you were an Avenger and that's Nick Fury's baby. That's his shit. Yo, he gave you your whole fucking flow. Like, what are you
Exactly.
talking about? Like, you need to kiss the fucking ring. Are you serious right now? And he's just asking for a little bit of grace. And the thing is, like, Rhodey was there when Nick Fury was doing all of that stuff. Like
Mm-hmm.
when he made all of this shit happen, saved the world multiple times. You were there. You should, if anybody, you should be like, let me just trust that he know what he doing.
Exactly. That is exactly what I was thinking too. It's just like it's not like just some random person that you don't have any type of experience with.
Right.
You don't know their background, what they can and can't do, and they just asking you for a handout. He's just asking for help. And it's
Mm-hmm.
just like, you obviously already know about the scrolls. You know about, because he said that he was briefed on it 15 years ago.
Yeah.
So it's just like, you already have like this information. So you know that it's a possible, a possible problem,
Mm-hmm.
and you just refusing to help. You
Especially
refusing to.
since he knows that the fucking Hydra people had infiltrated the government. So
Mm-hmm.
the government being infiltrated should not be a surprise or like something that's beyond the realm of belief for you.
Exactly.
I was just confused. And then how you talk about you calling him a rat, you think you finna have buddy him up Nick Fury? He
Exactly.
had to remind him like, bitch, don't forget who I am.
I am Timothy.
Definitely big him. Like, what you mean? Broke that man's finger real fast. Like, baby, please don't play with it. Like, come,
Exactly. You play with somebody else, but don't play with me.
please go do something safe. I was like, wow, Rhodey, fucking wow. We assumed that he voted for Trump. I feel like we got confirmation at this point. I'm ashamed.
He is definitely a. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. He is a. I'm a look out for me, myself, and I'm
Yeah.
not gonna use. And what's crazy about it is just like white people in certain spaces, especially when it comes to, corporations or politics, they use who they know, they friends, they buddies, they, like he said, who
Mm-hmm.
my daddy know, and all of this stuff in order to get where they are. But it's so crazy when black people don't do the same thing. They do
Mm-hmm.
not want to like help other black people get into better spaces and help them, like elevate their career or elevate them. And it's just like, that's why we can't ever get ahead, because y'all just so me.
Crabs in a barrel.
Yes. And it's just like, if we was doing the same thing that white people be doing, we could really elevate each other. People don't even want to tell you where they got their hair done at. Like,
I do not understand the intricacies of black hair and why it's so gatekept amongst the community. Like, what?
exactly. Like, Rhodey really trying to, like, he's like, it's only one room for one of us at the top of the pyramid, and it's gonna be me.
Now, I will say this. Fuck Rhodey. But when he was at that little meeting and he was swinging that big American dick around, I was like, "Caw!" Like, what a
No, for real.
fucking eagle. Yes! He was like, we will carpet bomb y'all. Shut the fuck up talking to me. America!
America, fuck yeah, here to save the motherfucking day, yeah.
I was red, white, and blue in that moment. I was like,
No,
yes,
for real.
you
For
better tell
real.
them we the biggest bitches on the block. It might not make no goddamn sense. It's a lot of homeless people, but we got a lot of guns. And we is not scared to use them, bitch. So talk to me nice.
Oh my God. Yeah, fuck Rhodey.
Oh my god. I do want to talk about that Taylor's conversation on the train.
Okay.
Cuz I was like, I love black people, old black people and their stories. How they will tell you a story.
Mm-hmm.
And you thinking it's just a story.
No, I knew from the very beginning of that story that this was going somewhere. I was like, oh, Talos.
He got you.
He got you.
The better the story, the more it's a wrap for your ass.
For real. I definitely knew from the beginning. I was just like, uh-oh. He said, tell me something I don't know. I was like, oh, Talos, he got you, bitch.
Yeah. Yeah, I want to play the tell me something I don't know game with some people. But anyway, back to this. Said, tell me something I don't know about the destruction of Skrullos, which I feel like in this moment, I wasn't expecting him to ask that specific question, but it was the right question. And I feel like this is one of those moments when, like, the bad guy is talking to the good guy, and he's like, y'all don't be asking me the right questions.
I was just about to say, you got to ask the right questions to get the right answers.
Yes, absolutely. So, and then, you know what? He said, have you lost your reptilian ass mind?
That shit had me weak.
I love this man so much. And I love my people because that's some black ass.
That's a black mama saying.
Yes.
Have you lost your rabbit ass mind?
Yep, that one, because I'll help you find it.
I'll help you find it. Boy, have you lost your mind? Because I'll help you find it. Stanley said that. He was black.
Yep. But I think, okay, so this part made a lot more sense to me. Well, everything made more sense to me after they had this conversation because at the end of the last episode, RIP to Maria Hill. Oh, I forgot to bring up why people was mad about that shit. We had 140 minutes. Anyway, that might be an episode, conversation for next episode. Anyway.
Okay.
I was wondering why they went into that situation without wearing any type of body armor, without any other backup. It was just Talos, Maria Hill, and Nick Fury. Mm-hmm. And once you start learning that when they first came to Earth, it was not a whole lot of Skrulls. It probably was less than 100,000. I don't know how many, but maybe just a couple thousand.
Maybe, yeah.
But not enough to do anything to the level of what they are doing. And I think because Nick did not know that, they were severely underprepared. He didn't know how bad this shit actually was. Talos told him that it's 1 million.
That's a lot of people.
That's a fucking lot.
That's a city.
Yes.
That's a small city.
And then they strong as shit. They fucking aliens. Like, 1 million.
They can shapeshift.
And all of them can fucking fight. Like,
they all got hands.
They all got hands. They all strong as hell. They can wash us so fucking fast. Like, that's a lot.
Mm-hmm. And then Taylor's talking about I thought that humans and Skrulls could coexist. Nick, like, we can't even coexist with each other. You thought that we was going...
We have been on war on this planet since we could walk upright. There is not enough room or tolerance on this planet for another species. Then he kicked his ass off of the goddamn train. I was like, woo, I know he cried. I know he was fucking embarrassed. Like,
he was like, oh, wait, hold on. Nick Fury had definitely had a little mini heart attack at that moment. He said 1 million?
Oh, yeah, he did. His stomach started hurting. Instant bubble guts from that. I don't blame him either because that shit is wild.
Yeah, that's enough. That's crazy.
I also liked in this episode how we actually had a very good reason for the Avengers not showing up. Mm-hmm. Because I forgot who said that to him.
It was Fury and
who was he talking to?
Rhodey.
Okay, because he said something about like, why haven't you brought the team into this? Right.
He said our friends.
And he was like, if they come back, then they could just be cloned and turned into terrorists. Like, it's not as simple, and that makes sense to me.
And they could do it regardless.
Yeah.
Still, but not having them fight. Like, we see how easily Maria got killed
Yeah.
when he shapeshifted into Fury.
Yeah. Especially because you don't know who is
Sorry.
who.
It's an Air Force plane flying overhead. They just don't care about my podcast.
At all. At fucking all. But yeah, what else? Oh, I think when Gravik showed up, walking back into that rebellion camp, he looked like David Koresh walking into Waco, and I ain't like that. Just made me feel real weird. It's a fucking cult. It's a cult.
It's a little commune.
Yeah, it's a little something like that. I also wanted to mention that I love every time the Queen of England show up on the screen, I'd be like, what is this crazy bitch finna do? She never disappoints.
The Queen of England.
Yeah, I don't know her name in the show.
The Prime Minister?
Is that the prime? Is that who she's supposed to be?
Are you talking about? Who are you talking about?
The actress that played Queen Elizabeth in like season 4 of The Crown is in the show. She was interrogating the guy, injecting him with shit that was making his blood boil.
Was that really her?
Yes, that's her.
You sure it wasn't the first 2 seasons when she was younger?
No, that not when what's his name was on there? Matt
Smith.
Yeah, not him.
When
Not
Ed
that.
Muir was on it.
Yeah, I think.
Interesting.
Yeah, it's not old. It's
crazy
older
what
her.
a great. It's crazy what a gray wig can do.
Yeah, that's her. I
was
her.
like looking at her like, this bitch looks super familiar. That scene reminded me in Ocean's 12 when he was just like, well, we've been interrogating what you think that you can do. Mm-hmm. And then she got some information out of him, didn't she?
Yeah, she did that. What else didn't we talk about?
Also, it is confirmed that I think it was like the Prime Minister. It was somebody that's an anchor on like a news network,
mm-hmm.
and some other people, the leader of NATO,
mm-hmm.
that are all actually confirmed as being Skrulls.
Yeah. Everybody that was on the news that they showed.
Yep, is actually Skrulls. And then
they all pledged their allegiance to Gravik.
Except for that one lady.
Made him Commander Skrull.
Yeah, except for that one lady, which I'm sure she ain't too long for the world.
Oh, no. I was surprised that they even let her out long enough to make that phone call.
I know. I thought she was definitely about to get bodied.
Oh, we didn't say they building
she was about to get put on a t-shirt.
Facts. They building a machine that looks like it's for like genetic mutation. At first I was like, is this some kind of a terraforming thing that they trying to do to make the world more radioactive? But I think they said it's probably to make them more stronger, and they were manipulating Groot, Cull Obsidian, and Frost Giant genetic material with the extremist research stuff. That sound like a cocktail for fucking disaster, dude.
Yeah. They're already strong as fuck. Like, if they add that, they will literally be unstoppable.
Yeah, definitely to humans, and it's a million of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got bubble guts too, Nick. That's bad.
I'll be like, you know what, y'all? I'm on y'all team. I don't like being a human.
Right.
I'll be a Skrull. Can y'all inject me in something? I can become a Skrull.
Here go my genes. Do something.
Exactly. Y'all want to be me?
Right. But yeah, so we are at an hour and 40-something minutes. So I think if you don't have anything to say,
I do not.
We can wrap this up. I have not watched anything new. I did start reading a book. It's called The Intercepts. It's really good.
I started watching Black Mirror, and it's been really good.
I keep forgetting that that's out. Okay.
Yeah, it's been really good. Also, Human Resources, but like, the show's really freaking gross sometimes. So, that's that Big Mouth spinoff.
Oh, I didn't even know that was happening.
Yeah, it's on its 2nd season, and it's just like kind of crass, it's the writers of Big Mouth, so it can be a little much.
I fell off of Big Mouth real bad. I think I watched 2 seasons of that and just never went back to it.
We just recently caught up like late last year, or maybe like after I had the baby. I can't remember, when we ain't had nothing else to do. We just watched some shows, and that was one of them, and I was just like, it's still funny, but it's just like the humor is just like so crass that it's, I don't know if it's my flavor anymore. Okay, guys, if you have made it to the end, thank you so much for hanging out with us. We are the South Side of Wakanda podcast, and this was our Jessica Jones Season 2, Episode 5 through 8, and Secret Invasion discussion. Join us next week. We'll be talking about episodes 9 through 11, you said?
Mm-hmm.
9 through 11, and Secret Invasion, Episode 3.
Yes.
Follow us on TikTok.
Mm-hmm.
Instagram at Southside of Wakanda, and we on Facebook, Southside of Wakanda Podcast. Go visit our website, southsideofwakanda.com, and look at Brittany's hard work and how beautiful it is. And don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube, Southside of Wakanda.
Yes.
Thanks, guys.
We love you.
Bye.
Bye.